Joint tenancy with right of survivorship, a highly tested topic. Here's our rule script. A joint tenancy exists when two co-tenants take title with the four unities and they have the words of survivorship. Four unities and words of survivorship. So joint tenants with right of survivorship, and then they have to take title with the four unities. So let's talk the four unities. They are interest, title, time, and possession, and we can remember them by the acronym PIT. Let's talk about unity of interest first. Unity of interest doesn't have to be the same proportional or fractional interest. It actually refers to the duration of the interest. So, for example, same interest means one person can't be a life tenant and one person a fee simple. Okay, that's same interest. Same instrument is easy. It's just the same document. Possession is easy. You have to have the right to possess the whole property, possess and enjoy the whole thing, can't exclude each other. Here's another one that can be a bit weird. They have to take title at the same time. So here's the situation. What if someone conveyed in her will a property to her four sons upon attaining the age of 30? Unless those four sons were quadruplets, their interests will not vest at the same time. So you won't have a joint tenancy. Tenants have to take title at the same time. They can't do that if they're different ages. Okay, so remember, joint tenancy, it is not divisible because on death, the property goes to the other joint tenants. It is not descendable. You can't convey it in your will. The other parties, once you die, the other parties take the property. However, on the bar, this happens all the time, it's conveyed by mortgage or by deed or by contract. All right, so once you sever a joint tenancy by conveying it or mortgaging it, then the tenancy is severed only as to the party who wrongfully conveyed it. All right, so let's talk about conveyance first. So Anne, Bob, Carrie, and Dan are all joint tenants of Blackacre. And Carrie decides to convey her interest to her two kids, Ellen and Fred. Carrie has just severed the joint tenancy, right? But not as to her three siblings, only as to Ellen and Fred. So Annie, Bob, Carrie, and Dan had a joint tenancy. Now Carrie's out. She conveyed her property by contract or deed to her kids, Ellen and Fred. Ellen and Fred have what kind of tenancy? A tenancy in common. Anne, Bill, and Dan have what kind of tenancy? That's right, they're still joint tenants. Carrie's out. She conveyed her interest. Okay, same thing happens when someone mortgages their interest. Now remember the lien theory jurisdiction. If one person, let's say Carrie, instead mortgages her interest to a mortgage company, that's not going to sever the joint tenancy because the mortgage is just considered a security interest in a lien theory jurisdiction. But if she's in a title theory jurisdiction, that does sever the joint tenancy. Why? Because the mortgage company possesses title and entry, right of possession to the property. So would that sever the joint tenancy in regard to Annie, Bill, and Dan? No. Only as to Carrie's interest. Okay, good job.